Hey folks, welcome back to Positively Peninsular. You're stuck with Mark again. I thought, ooh, nice toe cracking there. Thank you, toes. I always thank my toes when they crack properly because they really help out my whole alignment issue. Anyway, I had said earlier in part one that I would do an update, like a second part, and I also said that I would show you all the plants and flowers and everything, basically the garden stuff, and of which I completely forgot. So I just did a silent movie. I guess you could call it a silent movie. I'm sorry. Is it rude to have my sunglasses on? It's just really bright out, even though I'm under the canopy. Best investment ever if you're in a really hot climate, or not necessarily hot, but just really sunny. Usually they go hand in hand. It's just been fantastic, and we've had some relatively heavy breezes. It's pretty good quality. I mean, I can't complain. So in the comment section you could always let me know ask me where I got it. Let me know where I got it. If I don't know, that's a sad state of affairs. I always hate that the screen goes off. If anybody knows why that happens, how can I just keep the freaking screen on so I can see that I'm not doing something stupid? That's kind of a full-time job. So I talked to my older son today, and because they reached their destination back east, and they were out gallivanting in the Catskills and whatnot, and I got my hands full here on the back 40, the real back 40, and doing this video, which this podcast, which I wouldn't mind if it went live, I guess, live streaming. And maybe that's what I need to talk to Tucker about. Just make sure that if that's what's holding things up, I don't want to get all twisted in my chair. So I was going to do it at the end of the day when I was watering, but I'd get so distracted and I'd probably drown one thing and drought the other. I know it's not a verb, but I made it a verb. So I thought I would, every 2-3 days, I would just do a little update. This way then, if we don't get together on Wednesday, and I'm leaving it up to him, I'm not going to hound him, and because I don't want this to become a me channel, because that's not what it is. I have a me channel. It was nice to see the number of views on, I think it was Tucker Be Busy. I know, and I was always known as the grammarian teacher. I was like the grammar dude. I know, but I'm retired, so I don't really give a crap. Anyway, don't tell that to my students, because they'll be like, oh, you're not saying it properly. It's like, give it a rest. So just to let you know, I'm going to be sitting under the canopy till it cools off a little bit, because it's only about 2:45-ish maybe in the afternoon, and so it's still pretty warm, and it's definitely warm out on the septic plateau. I hope you got a better sense of the elevation of the septic plateau. It's kind of deceptive looking, especially when the grass is long, but when you cut it or when you walk out there, it's like, holy moly, I didn't know I had Mount Everest in my backyard. Now I'm exaggerating, obviously. And I'm probably just gonna put my regular, I gotta learn how not to do that. Put my regular glasses on so I can at least see if anybody flips me off on the road. No, I'm just kidding. No one would flip me off. But I thought instead of talking about, because I know I mentioned that I want to talk about toxic masculinity, but I'd really like to save that for Tucker, just because what I find really valuable with kind of Tucker's and my exchanges, you're getting two ends of the spectrum, and that's how I became energized about about doing this. God, I wish I could play. I must be able to place this better, so I'm not. Yeah, I was. Oh, I wanted to share this with you real quick. Because I just washed these because my so when my sneakers get gnarly, and I can't even see if I'm in the picture. So if my sneakers get gnarly, if working out, running, I don't run, but I do walking. I do fast walking, power walking. Anyway, it was just smelling really funky because I went out to Walmart this morning, and I always go really early right after they open up, just because I can, and it's just me and the employees. Sometimes they're not even employees, or many of them. Anyway, and so when I got back home, I took off the sneakers, and they were like, good sneakers, because I was out in public. And I was like, man, what the heck? Now I hadn't worn socks, which, I'm like, oh, geez, you know better than that. And then, because I sweat like a monk, I call it like a Mongolian bush pig. Anyway, my students will remember all that. So they were my outdoor sneakers. I have two pairs of outdoor sneakers and two pairs of indoor sneakers, and I don't tie them up. Well, no, I do tie them up very loosely, almost like I make them slippers, because as you can see, there's obviously something weird going on, right? And people in my family will know exactly what the heck I'm talking about, because this is like a family trait, is our big toes. Our big toes kind of, I know nobody cares about this, but I find it fascinating. But our big toes kind of curve up. So if you do a lot of walking, working out and all that, it's just like the constant friction. And my sons have it, I have it, my brother has it. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, so I find a second life, and then when they no longer serve a purpose, if they're like, not giving me any kind of support, whatnot, then I will, then find a place that recycles shoes, where I guess they just like dismantle it for materials or something, which is great. So I just try to get use out of stuff as much as possible. And then I have become really good. I don't think I talked about it on this morning's video, but when I showed you the amount of weed whacking, I mean, folks, it's 0.45 acres, right? 0.45 acre. So, now, granted, there's 3/4 minus, which is this black gravel stuff. And then, the garden, the gardens take work, but not grass-wise. And then, they take maintenance. And then the house, right? So you back that out. We're still talking probably at least a half acre of grass. I told my son this morning when we talked, I was like, I don't think weed whackers were made, because I want to frame everything within the framework of home ownership and land ownership, and because this is really new for me, and it was also new for Tucker, and that's why we wanted to start this whole podcast. Anyway, I'm just going to kind of keep us segueing or limping along, but I really do want to move this thing. Well, I know what I can do. So, you know what? I think I maybe have mentioned before, but I kind of, Murphy's Law rules my life. And So that means if something can go wrong, it will, and it's worse. The cockier I am, the more overconfident or boastful. That's why I try never to get to that, because I could have done that. I think people that knew me or know me would agree. Whoa! See, you can hear the canopy, right? Just trying to get just making sure nothing else works. I know, it's what I call a cluster. We all know what a cluster stands for. I don't think you say it out loud. It's the family show. Actually, well, it isn't, but it's not bad. But maybe it's PG-13 just because of language. And that's because I'm not going to filter myself. That's just too exhausting at this point in my life. I had to do that. I had to do that. Guess what, guys? I'm going to put you up. I'm going to put you up on the bat guano. So you're going to be the proud. So that's going to at least give you a different perspective than up my nostrils or too far away. No, well, it's about the same distance. So I thought what I would talk about. Oh, well, first I just need to say a few things. I'm probably going to put my sunglasses back on soon. I did some shout outs for on this morning's thing podcast, and I just wasn't thorough enough. So I just want to get those shout outs out now, just because they deserve it, and it's my fault that I messed up. So to my son Zach and his lovely wife, my daughter-in-law Reagan, congratulations a million times. They're in a brand new place and whatnot, and trying to figure out where they want to live, and for the long haul. And yeah, exciting stuff. And I think I may have mentioned it. I'm not sure if I did. But I do have a couple of surgery things coming up here. And so Zach will fly back out here to the West Coast and to the peninsula and stay with me and nurse me back to health. Well, for the short term. And it's great because he got to keep his job on the West Coast, so he can, maybe he can write that off. I don't know. Probably not. Oh, now that that's out there, forget about it. So congratulations. They drove back. I think they took 3 to 4 days. And they seemed to enjoy it. I had given a shout out to Jewel, and I don't know what her last name is, and I don't give out last names anyway. Unless you want me to, I guess. Then that's on you. And then, so Jewel, and I found out, I just did look at the real name of her company, it's called Outdoors by Design Bamboo Garden and Nursery. So, kudos, because I got almost $1,000 worth of bamboo, so I appreciate you, Jewel. And Zach and Reagan, I appreciate you. And I'm going to come back to Zach here in a minute, just because he kind of gave me the idea for what I might do just on my own to talk about, and how to put positivity in something that's really tough, and that I think we all deal with at some point, I would assume. And I got to keep eye on time, because when it overheats, it shuts down. I'm like, well, how are you supposed to avoid that? So you can't go past a certain amount of time? If I knew how to pause it, I would do it. And I'd let it cool down, but anyway, again, anybody knows it, let me know. I also forgot to mention, Mark, my good buddy from down south, and Matt and Mark were both my neighbors. One was right, Matt and I shared townhouse wall, and then Matt and his fiance and I, and then another door down, another yard down, were Mark and Kathy, and we were all friends and whatnot, and we remained friends. So it's really great. But he is also, besides providing the theme for, because he was a teacher like me, but dude is off the charts creative. I'm like nothing. So if you get a hankering, I think I may have put it in the community portion, which is like messages sort of, I guess. You know, posts, I guess is what they're called. But you know, take a gander at those. Those are kind of cool. I don't know if you get notified, which I know is annoying as hell because I get annoyed with notifications too. But he, so if you go to, I don't have my computer out here because I have a sticker. It's Grandpa, capital G, all one word. Grandpa, capital G, does, capital D, EDM. And I believe I'm not sure if the EDM is all caps or if it's just the E. And that's what it is on Spotify, Pandora, all those kind of things. It's just really good music. And if you want to relax and still be kind of like upbeat, because a lot of times like relaxing music to me is like depressing, and that's why it's relaxing. But anyway, just a word to the wise if you want. It's just a shout out. And these were all some things that I was going to bring up if we had met on Wednesday. I just let's see. Oh, I had a business card made. I just did a short run, and so it looks like this. I don't know how can I tell? Jeez, I gotta tap the darn thing again. Let's see. Whoops, there we go. Oh, I can just do it like the eye is in the middle, right? And you can tell that that's the logo from the channel, right? And then, so you can see it as @Positively Peninsula. And we also have the email for it, positivelypeninsula@gmail. Everything's spelled exactly the same, whether you're in YouTube or blah, 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 or, right? Whatever venue, I don't know. I'm not capable of all that kind of stuff. Anyway, and so even Tucker hasn't seen these. And then, because I think he has a channel too, so he may want this, but I didn't want to presume to. So this is my channel, The Real Back 40. And then that's the house at night, which I think you've seen. It's also in the posts, I think. So check that out. I love how it looks at night. It's so cool. It's so freaking peaceful. And of late, anyway, kind of a cool design. I just said, what the hell? What's $30? I know it's a lot. I know I don't mean to sound frivolous, but you know, I really don't treat myself much. So it's my treat. And one song by Mark, I don't know which album. I had a student. All right. Which album? It might be Love Alarm, but the song 100 Degrees Peace, 100 Degree Peace. 100 plus the degree and then peace, P-E-A-C, like yo, peace. And oh, I know, I didn't want to do any kind of misadvertising, but the banner photo, and no one's mentioned anything about it, although I did get my first comment, which was kind of cool, and maybe because I think I get notified, so I'm happy to respond. I did get one about, and I think I addressed it on one of the videos, but why, I think I talked about this, why I try to talk, why I talk so softly when I'm actually a very loud person. That's part of the problem, is I just don't need to, disturb everybody, and then, the birds, any of the other people that are within half a mile. Anyway, so in full disclosure, the icon picture, I think it's an icon picture, is that the round thing? The ID picture, whatever it is for the channel picture, is Tucker up in one of my widowmakers, getting ready to take out, well, he was on a different tree, took out the first widowmaker, and then he went back up that same tree, and then he took out the widowmaker on the other side. And that was a picture that I took from and it was rain, it was like gloomy and cloudy, and I thought, holy mother God, he must have been, I was like, I gotta take a picture of this, because no one would believe me. No, he must have been 60, 70 feet up, with just like those really cool equipment, the boots, the things you strap onto the bottom. Man, you don't want to get your head crushed by one of those. Anyway, it just was sketchy as hell, folks. But that's when I was like, whoa, this kid is like not normal. And I mean that in the best sense. And that's kind of how I started things. Anyway, I thought that was just like one of the best pictures I've ever taken, because I think it just really encapsulates everything. But the other photo, and I need to fix the photo on my real back 40, because that's not, I should change it to a house picture. Actually, I should probably just change it to the house picture of the one that I have that I think I put in the post. Doy. But the banner picture of that gorgeous sunset, which you're happy to, I'll send you a copy of it if you want, I don't mind. I'm not copywriting shit. That's actually not here, so I don't want it to be misleading that, oh, is that where he lives? That's cool, that's pretty. Yes, it is very pretty, but it's not where I live. It's where I used to get an Airbnb at the coast, south of here, and every August, and come out here because my son and daughter-in-law were out here, and then I would host anybody that was available, from the family to come and hang out for, I would come out for like a week, and then my other son might come out, or it was just kind of free flowing. My aunts came out. Anyway, so that's of Wallport. Okay, in full disclosure. Okay, Wallport. So, that's why I wanted to say that. That's not of where I'm at. And I think that's it. Oh yeah. I did. Talked about that. Okay. I don't, because it's gonna overheat, and I want to talk about this topic. Okay. So, I did want to do like a just real quick. I enjoy thinking of quotes, and I have no idea if they've already been thought of, or I guess I don't need that on. If they've ever been thought of before, or they're published or anything like that, so I don't know squat. So here's one I have. Sculpture is poetry carved in stone. Art is poetry laid to canvas. Lyrics are poetry set to music. Maybe somebody said it, I don't know. And then this is you get a bonus one today, because we haven't been putting anything out. It's a Sunday afternoon, so everybody's coming back from boating, and I think I mentioned before, there's a huge lake that way, quite a ways down, but it's limited to how you can get there. There are only a couple of ways you can get there. So hello, they're always out here. This is not a street I would run on or walk on or bike on, personally. Here's a quote: "You never need it until you want it." How about this? Sure, my shirt's a little wrinkly, but then so am I. Anyway, that's just for fun. And my sons hate my quotes, but so what I want to talk about was, and the reason it came up with my son